Everyone thinks Walter White became Heisenberg at some point in the show, maybe when he killed Crazy 8 or when he faced Tuco for the first time, or even later when he said,
"I am the one who knocks."
But here's the thing, all of those moments feel like turning points, but none of them actually created Heisenberg. Because if you really look closely, Walter White didn't become someone else. He just stopped pretending to be someone he wasn't, and that's what makes his story so disturbing. Because Breaking Bad doesn't show a good man turning evil, it shows a man finally becoming who he always was. Think about the very first episode. Before the drugs, before the violence, before everything, Walter already felt like a man who had been robbed of something. Not just money, not just success, but a recognition. He wasn't just struggling financially, he was angry. Quietly, constantly angry. You can see it in small moments, the way he lets people talk over him, the way he forces a smile he doesn't mean, the way he pretends he's okay when he clearly isn't. And that's the key thing most people miss. Walter White didn't suddenly develop an ego. He had it from the very beginning. It was just buried under fear, routine, and a life he never really chose. So when people ask, when did Walter become Heisenberg? They're asking the wrong question, because the real question is, how long had Heisenberg been there, waiting? If Walter was always capable of becoming Heisenberg, then why do people point to specific moments? Moments like Crazy 8, because on the surface, that feels like the first real change. It's the first time Walter kills someone, and not in self-defense, but by choice. He talks to Crazy 8, almost like he doesn't want to do it. He hesitates, he thinks. And for a moment, you can see the good man trying to win, but then he notices the broken plate, and everything shifts. In that moment, Walter doesn't just protect himself, he makes a decision. A cold, calculated decision, and that's why so many people say, this is where he became Heisenberg. But here's the problem. If that were true, he wouldn't hesitate, because Heisenberg doesn't hesitate. He doesn't sit there talking, thinking, almost apologizing. What we're seeing here isn't Heisenberg. It's Walter trying to become him. The same thing happens with Tuco. When Walter walks into that room, throws the fulminated mercury, and blows the place apart, it looks like confidence. It looks like power. It looks like Heisenberg. But look closer. His voice shakes. His body is tense. This isn't natural to him yet. He's performing, playing a role he hasn't fully grown into. And that's the difference most people miss. These aren't moments where Heisenberg is born. They're moments where Walter is trying to convince himself that he already is him. If it wasn't Crazy 8 and it wasn't Tuco, then most people point to one moment.
"I am the one who knocks."
This is the scene everyone remembers. The voice, the stare, the confidence. It feels different, stronger, like Walter is finally in control. And for the first time, even Skyler looks afraid of him. So naturally people say, this is it. This is Heisenberg. But listen carefully to what he's actually saying. He's not talking to a rival. He's not talking to an enemy. He's talking to his wife. Someone who already knows him. Someone who has seen him at his weakest. And that changes everything. Because this isn't power. It's overcompensation. Walter isn't proving who he is. He's trying to convince her and maybe even himself. Think about it. If he truly believed he was the one who knocks, he wouldn't need to say it. He wouldn't need to explain it. He wouldn't need to perform it, because real power doesn't announce itself. And that's why this moment is so important. Not because it shows Heisenberg, but because it shows Walter desperately trying to become him. This is the illusion. The moment where even the audience starts believing that the transformation is complete, but it's not. Not yet. So if it wasn't Crazy 8, not Tuco, not even I am the one who knocks, then when did it actually happen? It happens when everything falls apart. No power, no control, no plan left. Crawl space. Walter rushes home, desperate. He needs the money. It's his only way out. But when he opens the crawl space, it's gone. Everything he built, everything he risked his life for, gone. And for a second, you expect panic. You expect fear, maybe even regret, but that's not what happens. He starts laughing. Not a normal laugh, not relief, not even madness in the way we usually think of it. It's something else. It's empty. It's broken. And somehow, completely calm at the same time. And that's the moment everything changes, because Walter doesn't try to fix anything anymore. He doesn't beg. He doesn't explain. He doesn't even fight it. He just accepts it, that he's in too deep, that there's no going back, that this is who he is now. This isn't Walter trying to become Heisenberg. This is Walter disappearing. And what's left behind is someone who no longer hesitates, no longer pretends, no longer cares about being Good. That laugh isn't the sound of a man losing control. It's the sound of a man finally letting go. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That moment in the crawl space, it didn't create Heisenberg. It just removed everything that was holding him back. The fear, the doubt, the mask. Because if you really go back, the signs were always there. Long before the meth, long before the violence, even back with gray matter, Walter couldn't handle feeling smaller than someone else. He walked away, not because he had to, but because his pride couldn't take it. And that same pride is what drives everything that comes after. Not the cancer, not the money, not even his family, his ego. That's the real story of Breaking Bad. Not a man doing this for survival, but a man finally having an excuse to be who he always wanted to be. And that's why the question, when did Walter White become Heisenberg, doesn't really have an answer. Because he didn't become him, he just stopped hiding him. And maybe that's what makes his story so terrifying. Because it means Heisenberg wasn't created. He was always there, waiting. So the real question isn't when Walter became Heisenberg, it's how long he was pretending not to be. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. And if there's another character from Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul you'd like to see next, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. And if there's another character from Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul you'd like to see next, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.